Obviously, guys, there are a lot of players out there that have never won a Super Bowl. Fans sometimes say that this player deserves a Super Bowl, this player deserves a Super Bowl, etc., etc., etc. There are some big name players on these two teams, the Kansas City Chiefs and the Philadelphia Eagles, Mark, that have never won a Super Bowl. Some of which being Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Kareem Hunt, and DeAndre Hopkins, just to name a few. When you hear these names and you see these two teams, what player do you think deserves to win a Super Bowl this year?
When you asked me this question, the first thing that came to my mind was Jalen Hurts. Dude, he was replaced in the national title game by Tua. Tua brings him back wins the championship. That next year, he transfers to Oklahoma. He becomes a Heisman finalist. He doesn't win. He wasn't highly regarded coming out of college. He was drafted in the second round. Most scouts thought his arm strength was good, but not great, and his arm motion was stiff and delayed. And lastly, the last 18 quarterbacks who have lost their Super Bowl debut as a starter have not returned. He will be the first. I think he's overcome a lot of adversity, and that's why I think he deserves to win.
And I see that and I respect that 100%, Mark. But when I think of teams or players that are deserving of a Super Bowl, I think of two players, right? And they're both on the Kansas City Chiefs sideline, right? One of them being D Hop, right? He played on a Houston Texans team that just was never really, really very good. And then he kind of shuffled around the league a little bit. But the most notable person that comes to my mind is Kareem Hunt, right? Kareem Hunt was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs the same year that Patrick Mahomes was drafted by the Kansas City Chiefs. Kareem Hunt went off his rookie season. And the second year, he got a little in trouble with some white girls, right? FTWB, fuck them white bitches, right? But when a girl
And he lied about it.
spits in your face, and you know he did the path that he did, he went away, he righted his wrongs, and he's finally back at the Kansas City Chiefs. I think I would love to see Kareem Hunt kind of do this full redemption tour and definitely get that ring. So I see your Jalen Hurts, and I actually love that. And I actually had a topic about Jalen Hurts earlier. Mark, did you know since his freshman year of college, he has had a different offensive coordinator every year? So 5 years in the NFL, 5 years in college, he had a different offensive coordinator every year, dating back to, what was it, 2016. So 2016, he had Lane Kiffin. 2017, he had Brian Daboll. 2018, he had Mark Loxley. 2019 had Lincoln Riley. 2020, Doug Peterson. 2021, Nick Sirianni. 2022, Shane Steichen. 23, Brian Johnson. And then this year, Kellen Moore.
Damn.
Yeah. So JM says Hurts had Shikens for 2 years in a row. So JM, Nick Sirianni called the plays the first 12 games of that season. Shane Steichen did take over the second part of that year, but he's had a different play caller every year. So just crazy. Alpha Rob says none of them deserve a Super Bowl. Interesting. None of them deserve it. Okay. Why don't none of them deserve it, right? Like they've all paid their dues. They've all been playing football probably since at the age of 10 at least, right? Maybe some earlier, 7, 6, right? I mean, they've all grinded and get to this point. I mean, at some point they all deserve it, but James says Saquon Barkley deserves it the most. So have you heard this Saquon Barkley story? He has never won a championship in Pop Warner, middle school, high school, or college, Mark.
Dang, that's another fact I didn't know.
Yeah, like I saw that, I want to say last Sunday, because they were making a big deal about the Super Bowl was on his birthday. And he's never won a championship. So
crazy.
James says 21 was primary was Shane Steichen, but Nick Sirianni did call plays in that year. So every year it has changed. And Alpha Rob says, yeah, I'm just being petty now, Buck. Josh Allen deserves it.